Thank you for joining us on this edition of the show. This is still the very beginning of the year, and one wonders what the days ahead would be like for tech and innovation. My guest on the show will be sharing his thoughts on trends and how to best position in 2022. We've got this and more lined up for you on the show. But first, some news and updates. This is Tech Trends. I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.
The internet, like the steam engine, is a technological breakthrough that changed the world.
Oluwatobi Oyinlola is a telecommunications graduate of Tai Sholari University of Education Ijagun in Ijebu-Ode area of Ogun State. The young tech genius, also an embedded systems engineer, has over the years been making his mark in the industry by providing Internet of Things solutions, as he is fondly called Internet of Toby among his peers. But Toby, despite his wins, is determined to continue to make an impact in his society, especially his alma mater.
While studying during undergrad, I had these issues of power. Anytime I want to work on my laptop, there's not going to be power for me to charge my laptop. And then I felt like, how can we solve this problem? Solar Pocha gives you three things: power, internet, and a space to work. And then from my experience of issues with how to power my laptop, Solar Pocha was able to solve that completely. And students can come anytime, any day, and use the workstation. They only need to do one thing: book the workstation ahead of time.
Solar Pocha is an outdoor solar charging station that provides off-grid clean energy to power mobile and portable devices, LED lighting, Wi-Fi, and IoT booking capabilities in the form of a canopied table with seating. Building Solar Pocha came naturally to Toby with his background in IoT, and so within a space of about 3 months, he built the workstation using materials readily available to him.
I started working on it by just a sketch. I tried to check online to see, is there something related to that? I couldn't find anyone with IoT, whereby a student can book, or the online booking management system. So it took me roughly like 3 or 4 months to kind of finish with both the construction, the IoT parts, the finishing touch, and then installation. The materials were sourced locally. It was constructed in Ibadan. I was able to get a few technicians to work together to kind of physically build the whole workstation. So for the inverter, the IoT, because it was COVID period, we couldn't source anything from outside Nigeria, so we have to use all the materials that are available in Nigeria. For example, the IoT parts, there's no way to do printed circuit board outside Nigeria during COVID, so I hand soldered everything, just with my hand, so which makes it more difficult, but then we're able to deliver the job, and that's really important.
Toby built the workstation for his university, and with the help of the school's administration, he was able to position it at a strategic point. Accessing the functions of the station can only be done via a booking system on the school's portal.
This area that we are, they call it Internet Zone, because the Wi-Fi was able to broadcast across this region. So any student that doesn't even want to see it inside on the workstation, they can use their phone or their laptop within this radius and still use the Wi-Fi of the workstation. For a student, a qualified student, of course they have a matric number, so automatically it's integrated to their school portal. They only need to go to the school website, which is workstation.whatever school, like Tai Sholari, and then book like the workstation. They have only 2 hours a day. Imagine a school of over 23,000, so we can't accommodate all the students, so we give them access to use it at least 2 hours a day. So when they book the workstation, they need to come to the physical workstation. They can't use it in their house. So when they reach the workstation, they need to log in with their the same magic number and the password, and the workstation will dedicate a seat number for them. They need to look for the seat number and just go ahead and sit on it, and then turn on the socket, and it works for that single student.
Having stable electricity is a concern for many in the country, as a lot of households turn to alternative power sources for use. Hence why Oluwatobi thought of using solar power that is not only free for all, but has no environmental hazard.
We all talk about the CO2 emission as well. We want a world that is free of emission. Using the power of sun, it's free. It makes it even more important for us to use solar panel. We don't want to use the normal, because it's not even always available, it's not constant. But for this, it's always going to be available. It's one of the reasons why we decided to use solar, and of course environmental reason as well. So for this workstation, we've got the inverter. The inverter is like 5 kVA inverter. It's inside, which could power more devices than this. And the battery, the capacity, even without sunlight, can last up to like a week. We've got the IoT parts, which is my own field. It goes like, it has microcontroller, which is what we call the processor. So all the students automatically, when they book the workstation, the microcontroller sends a signal to its particular socket they booked, and then they have access to it. We've got the solar panel as well. We've got the radio. One of the radio receive direct broadcast from the ICT center, and the other radio just broadcast and make this like a radius.
Oluwatobi used his personal funds for this project, but hopes to get partnerships from schools and organizations that want workspaces within their environment. Toby was on the engineering team working on Elon Musk's Hyperloop and has invented over 15 IoT-enabled hardware products, many with a mission to change the world.
Globally, when it comes to digital adoption, there's still a large gap in the use of technology by women and girls when compared to their male counterparts.
Thank you so much for taking our time
To address this digital gender divide, the UK government, in partnership with CyberSafe Foundation, is empowering over 2,000 girls and women under its DigiGirls training program. The program is set to empower those living in underserved communities with employable digital skills.
Lowering the digital gender divide in Nigeria has become a matter of urgency. A recent USAID report shows that over 90% of jobs worldwide have a digital component. And without these skills, just like Julie, women are automatically disadvantaged and do not have the confidence to participate in the digital workforce. Now, ultimately, the goal is to close the digital gender gap that is causing unemployment and underemployment of women and girls, especially for the underserved and vulnerable in our communities. DigiGirls is not just timely, but a much-needed intervention. Would also tackle gender-based violence through economic empowerment of women. Will also support inclusive and sustainable economic recovery post-pandemic. Will also increase the number of digitally skilled Nigerians and foster lasting poverty reduction and alleviate tough economic realities for women and girls in Nigeria.
The British High Commissioner to Nigeria says the UK government is committed to supporting Nigeria in its quest to grow the country's digital economy.
The UK feels it's got very good experience in this and expertise to bring. But one particular area we want to focus on is digital inclusion. To do exactly what we're doing with the DigiGirls program is to make sure that technology is available not just to those who already can access it quite easily, who have the tools and the money, but those who have the ideas and the potential but don't necessarily have the tools, the skills and the money. So we want to bridge the digital divide, but it's through programs like this, recognising there's talent out there, but people at the moment who haven't got that access. We want to ensure they've got it. Secondly, it's ensuring broadband rolls out, because nobody can do anything without broadband. So we've been working with government on right-of-way, ensuring accessibility and, of course, cost. So if you combine those two factors, then people who've got the ideas but not yet the tools can bring their contributions for the benefit of all of us, for the benefit of society.
Beneficiaries of the program are grateful for the opportunity, which they say has been impactful.
Digital Girls has been so impactful because they help us understand that we can become somebody with technology, not just for the guys alone. Tech is also for girls. So it's teaching us about digital marketing, graphic design, e-commerce, and this is going to help us be independent on ourselves.
The DigiGirls program will, over the next 6 months, provide digital and soft skills training to girls and women with a goal to close the digital gender gap.
Inspired at first by a desire to beat their city's notorious traffic, a group of Cambodian students has designed a prototype drone that they hope can eventually be used to ferry people from Phnom Penh and even help fight fires. With 8 propellers and using a school chair for the pilot's seat, the drone was developed by students at the National Polytechnic Institute of Cambodia on the outskirts of the capital. The drone, which its development team has dubbed the NPIC Human Carrier Drone, is currently at an early stage of development and testing. Equipped with 4 batteries, the prototype drone can carry a pilot weighing up to 60 kg and fly as high as 4 meters and for about 10 minutes.
In
Phnom Penh City, we have big problems related to traffic. So we did some research about this before building the drone. So we came up with this drone project. As we had this idea that we wanted to solve some problems for our society by making a taxi drone and invent drones for firefighters.
The prototype drone has taken around $20,000 in 3 years to build, and the students estimate it needs at least 2 more years before it's completely ready and fully tested. Sareen Sereyatva, Head of Research and Development Technology at NPIC, says that the school is currently trying to secure more investments for the projects and that the COVID-19 pandemic has significantly delayed development and testing. Once the prototype is finished, however, the school hopes that it can be applied to practical usage in everyday life.
In principle, if we make one drone, the cost is expensive. But if we make them to sell on the market, the cost will go down because we have done our research. So when we invest to build one drone, then the cost goes higher.
According to Sereyatva, the school still plans to build a firefighting drone prototype, a project which may cost up to $40,000. The team is also making improvements to the design and functions of the original carrier drone, such as adding more propellers.
Coming up is my chat with Dave Partner, software engineer and tutor, Brain Temple Software. Stay with us. Hey, Dave, welcome to Tech Trends.
Hello, CFA.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, awesome. This is 2022. It's the start of the year. Tell me a bit about your thoughts for how you perceive tech in 2021.
Tech, there was a big boom in 2021 because we were just coming from the real pandemic year, which is 2020. So in 2021, a number of tech that had to do with teleconferencing and techs that had to do with online transactions they saw a very big boom. And then there's this NFT that came from 2020 and saw a very big boom in 2021. So these are the tech that saw a lot of success. And then they also set the stage for the techs that will see a whole lot of success in 2022.
So prior to the pandemic, which was 2020, how did you rate tech, particularly in Nigeria, prior to the pandemic?
Okay, I think that that 2020 saw a very big shift in the way tech was running in Nigeria. For instance, in Nigeria, there used to be a whole lot of physical tech gatherings, tech community building, and we saw the likes of Facebook, Google, trying to establish a whole lot of communities in Nigeria. But when the lockdowns came, that whole idea kind of died, or at least died down. Now we started seeing more online Zoom-based meetings, and then a whole lot of things. But then prior to 2020, we saw a few fintech startups, a few of them. But then when 2020 came, we started seeing a whole lot of fintech startups getting a lot of funding, like serious funding. And then we started seeing DeFi. These are decentralized finance, basically fintech on the blockchain and crypto. A whole lot of them started getting funding from Nigeria.
Tell me, I mean, this is the start of the year, and a lot of people will be wondering what is in it for the year. So from your perspective, what should people look out for when it comes to tech in 2022?
There are 3 or 4 branches of tech that I feel will see a lot of big changes, and especially with respect to investments too and stocks. For instance, we're going to see more of DeFi, decentralized finance, financial trading and tech startups that had to do with blockchain, crypto transactions. And then it's going to impact the likes of the traditional ones like MasterCard, Visa card. They are going to take a big hit. That's why some of them are already investing in DeFis. So even Western Union. So the traditional way of sending money abroad from abroad to Nigeria, all those things are going to change and go into crypto. And it will be happening in seconds instead of days, demanding verifications. So startups that are going into that are going to be really huge. So if somebody is looking for investments, those are the kind of startups they should watch out for, because more people have stayed indoors in 2020 and more people are now used to making transactions. Also, the mega churches, very, very soon, once we get to a point where the crypto ban is lifted, they will start accepting crypto. I think there is one school in Nigeria that started in the north eventually. Very soon, the schools will start too. So payment startups that have to do with crypto, they're going to see a very big boom. Then we see the global trends like the rich people in the US, some of the richest people, they are buying up huge farmlands, which means in a way they are trying to monopolize the whole supply chain of agro products. And then the traditional ones like artificial intelligence and machine learning, these are skills that people should acquire.
So in terms of trend, if you have to rate the technologies that you see that will bring further disruption, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what would you say?
I would say the biggest one will be the NFTs and the metaverse. Because once the big guns come into something, you better follow on time. So Facebook had to rename its company to Meta. And that's coming after some other companies have already started investing heavily. In fact, there are people testing the metaverse now. Basically, what it looks like is like a very big game like GTA, where people are inside and then going in there to do things. You control your character inside. If you want to go to university, you control yourself. So I think that metaverse is going to bring a whole lot of boom this year. Sometime before the middle of the year, it's going to go live in one way or the other. So another one is blockchains and crypto in general with respect to DeFi, decentralized finance. MasterCard and Visa card, I believe they're going to face a very big hit this year with respect to at least 2, 3 of those DeFi startups rising to the occasion to challenge them, So I think DeFi startups, investing in them now would be a very great idea, either investing in startups within the country or investing on those ones that are already out there.
All right. So if there's one skill that you would advise a young person watching this show now to go for in today's world, what skill would that be?
100% go and learn programming. More devices are being introduced into our lives. I mean, more people are getting smartphones. So the whole tech industry will continue to grow. More and more people will keep getting smartphones and laptops. And then more machines will come into our lives. Very soon we'll start seeing the driverless cars on the streets and a whole lot of things. Knowing how to control these things will be a basic skill. In the past, people used to say that reading and writing is a basic skill. You know, we have come to that point that programming has become a basic skill. And if you can already code, you need to go higher into categories or fields like machine learning. More companies are getting more and more data, and then they need data scientists too. So machine learning, data scientists, data science, and blockchains are coming more and more. Eventually, by 2025, 2030, is going to be the normal way every other platforms operates, crypto and everything. So these are the tech fields that people should go into.
Yeah, but in terms of programming, based on the data you have from your own back end, what language people or should people sort of focus on, or is it just across board?
Not necessarily across board, because you need to go deep before you go wide. So knowing the right one to choose will always be of great benefit. So it depends. Sometimes it depends on the country. Some countries favor one language over another. In Nigeria, as of today, languages like PHP, Laravel, those ones, Laravel is a framework, of course. PHP, those ones are the ones that get the most job opportunities, followed by the ones like Python. And then it also depends on what you are going into. So if you're going into machine learning, you just have to know Python. There's no running away. Then it doesn't matter what you're learning. You have to learn JavaScript. Whatever else you want to do, you have to learn JavaScript first and foremost. Then for anybody to start at all, you have to start out with the basics, which is HTML, CSS.
Awesome. David, final word, Tech 2022. What would be your final word?
Okay, my final words is all those are billionaires, you know, in Nigeria, those rich people in Nigeria, you have to start looking at investing in local talents. A number of our local talents have proven beyond every reasonable doubt that we have the capacity to compete globally. Many local talents have raised millions of dollars in terms of funding, and there are still many out there that they are like gems. They are worth millions of dollars, but then they still need that a few 100 million, 200 million naira to kick off. So those of us that have money, instead of wasting it to intimidate others, we should look into investing in in the small talents that are around, especially tech companies, tech startups that are around.
Oh, Dave. Oh, God. I feel you on that one. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah.
And I wish you a very prosperous 2022. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I wish you too. Same thing too.
I have been chatting with a software engineer and tutor, Brain Temple Software, Dave Partner, who believes that the best is yet to come, and this year will witness increased activities in the ecosystem. Dave has been around for quite a while, and I'll say this: he knows what he's talking about when it comes to tech and innovation. That's our show for today. You can watch this and previous edition of the show on Channels TV, YouTube, or cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.